I am of the pure mind of God. I am the resurrection and the life in my body, my finances, my relationships, and my world. I qualify everything in my world with perfection. I am perfection. I am this perfect day, and the life that lives in me is the light that cannot fail. I accept only God's perfection, His good, in my outer circumstances. I know in my heart that God is all in all. I am absolutely not concerned about what happens, because I know wonderful things are happening now.
Hello everyone, my name is Jonathan Chambers. I go by the name King and Not So when I allow consciousness to flow through me. And so we're going to go ahead and allow consciousness to flow through me in this moment. So today I want to talk about the Spiritual Special Forces workshop with Matthew David Hurtado. So Matthew David Hurtado is my mentor, and I found him on YouTube about 3 years ago. And with the Spiritual Special Forces workshop, I just want to tell you guys the different manifestations and the different blessings that I've received from attending the workshop. And that workshop was amazing. And I feel like if you're a person that's going through any type of financial, health, or any type of other anxiety or problem, then the Spiritual Special Forces workshop is great for you. Matthew David can really help you to have that spiritual connection and just really get in touch with yourself so that you can heal yourself. Now, I want to share with you some of the many manifestations and many of the blessings that I have experienced by going to the Spiritual Millionaire Workshop and the Spiritual Special Forces. So I went to Spiritual Special Forces in February of 2020, and this is right before the COVID pandemic. Now, I feel in my heart that the Spiritual Special Forces, I was meant to go there before the whole coronavirus and everything, so that my mind and my heart could be strengthened and that my faith can be unwavering. Because now, during this whole coronavirus, during this whole pandemic, all my friends, most of my friends, a lot of people around me, even my mother, my father, they are very worried. They have a lot of fear about this pandemic. But I have been living in peace. I've been living in pretty much tranquility. I've been allowing things to come my way. I have not been worrying. So I want to share with you some of the benefits that I've had from going to that workshop. Basically, before the workshop, I was working at a place and I was making a certain amount of money, and I went from one job to the next job to the next job because of this pandemic. And during that, I have been living in my joy, and I've just been allowing things to come to me. I've actually not had to experience having no job during this pandemic. And during this time, I've just increased my level of income each time. The next thing I want to talk about is my relationships. Now, before the coronavirus and everything like that, I was crushing on somebody. I had a desire, a feeling that I wanted to be with somebody, to date them. And the cool thing is that during the whole Spiritual Special Forces, I actually used one of the rituals and one of the techniques to envision myself with that person. And for a little bit after the Spiritual Special Forces, we actually dated. But the thing is, everything happens for a reason. And so right now, I'm in a very healthy spiritual relationship with a spiritual woman, and we are very evenly yoked. We are able to communicate and talk to each other about a lot of different things, and our relationship is better than it has ever been. And again, one of the last things I want to talk about is just my faith and my peace of mind. My peace of mind and my faith have never been this good. I have seen my spiritual family, and I'm so happy that I got to see them again. And the thing about the Spiritual Special Forces and the Spiritual Millionaire Workshop is that when we all get together like that, the energy, the love, it's unmatched. And it really feels like I'm with people that I've known for my whole life. And when we get together, it's like I'm seeing an old friend. Some of these people I've never even met. Some of the people I've seen only once or twice. But the thing is, when we come together, it's like we make magic happen. We do make magic happen. And it's very powerful when we're all together like that. and we are doing these processes. Now, you can stay tuned to my channel, and I'm gonna be showing you guys Matthew's different teachings, like the ABC break process and the safe touch method. Which the ABC break process, it helps you to relieve and allow pretty much any problem that comes to your mind. We are able to dissolve that, and we understand that it is not it, and that in that moment we are able to tune in to a higher consciousness. The safe touch method is allowing yourself to relieve yourself of guilt, shame, and unforgiveness. And there's another technique that I'm not allowed to share, but it's called the sets, which is called the self-entrainment method. And I can share a little bit about what entrainment is. Basically, entrainment is when you have a pendulum or a frequency, like a tuning fork. And you know how when you hit one tuning fork, you bring another one on. They come into the same frequency. So that's pretty much what you're doing with the sets, is you're getting yourself into a certain frequency, a certain pattern, to become the person who you want to be, the greatest version of yourself. And that's what the spiritual special forces has allowed me to do. It's given me a family, and it's also given me the power to stop my self-sabotage, to change who I want to be, and to actually set who I want to be. No matter what type of things come into my life, good or bad, I know that I am this perfect day, and the light within me cannot fail, and that wonderful things are always happening. So if you are a person that is struggling, or you're trying to manifest something, you just need a little push, you're almost there, but you need just that little bit of push to get to the breakthrough, Matthew David Hurtado and Sabrina Hurtado would definitely help you get there. They are loving people, and they will be there for you, and they have been there for me. I am in contact with them every single day. And if you guys really want to change and want to transform your life, I encourage you to go ahead and go to MatthewDavidHurtado.com, get his book Allow, and get it for free, actually. But anyways, you guys, this is King Ananta, Jonathan Chambers. I release everything to the divine, and I hope that you all have a great day.
Hey, it's Matthew David, the Minister of Allowing. Just going for the walk down here by the usual. Going for the usual. Anyway, I gotta apologize for my last video. You may have noticed, but I hope I don't get this again. But there's certain times of the year where it happens, and Sabrina told me it's from being dehydrated, which could be true because I've been doing the equivalent walks of like, half marathons every day. And probably not so good in the real scorching hot heat, and dehydrated is what she thinks. But sometimes I get this little goober on my lip, and when I talk, it's like this thing just hangs there, and it's so gross. But anyway, I was watching my last video, and I said, oh, Sabrina, I can't post this video. I said, I got the goober on my lip. I said, it's repulsive. Anyway, just don't look at it. Now you're gonna go back and look at it and be like, oh God, it's gross. But anyway, I'm hoping I don't get it today. I drank plenty of water. So I guess we'll see how this goes. But, it's finally cool out. The breeze is wonderful. So let's see, we got the usual thing going on here. People are gathering, which is nice. Got a lot of boats that have been out and about every day. And we've been on the boat a few times, which is really nice. Although, it is what it is. I'm not the biggest boat fanatic in my life, but I guess, my favorite part is just to be able to walk and to clear my head, I go through my, my stuff that I say to myself and my programming. So when I go for these long walks and, walk like 11, 12, 13 miles sometimes, I just kind of go into my Zen and focus on what I want my mind to think about. Be of a pure mind. Be of the pure mind of God. So think about the things that bring you joy and happiness and find that space. So that's really what the last video was about finding the fastest path to your joy in every moment, because that's really where things start to fall together. And it happens time and time and time again for me throughout my life. So I can say this is a thing, it's wisdom, is that I find these best business ideas, these the things that have provided the most. Oh, hold on one second. Hi there, how are you?
Excellent.
That's a beautiful dog. So I get these ideas when I'm in my flow, when I'm not thinking about trying to get them. I'm just following my joy. What happens is they come to me, like the answers show up. And it's so logical, it makes so much sense, and it's always so easy and effortless, things that I can actually do. And I put a little tailpiece onto this video. I think I put it in the beginning of this one. I'm just assuming that's where I'm going to put it when this is all meshed up and you watch it, where I'm talking about what the night audio has done for me and listening to, I pretty much listen to on repeat all night long. And so when I wake up in the middle of the night, these things are still going on as I sleep all night. And so you actually pick that stuff up while you're sleeping, which is the best time to program yourself. It's really the only time to really get that deep penetrating seed planted, because your mind is always listening to everything you say. And so what I want to say is, it's starting to show up as my harvest out there. And it's the same mechanics as you'd have to do if you planted a field. You still have to go out and pick the harvest. You still have to go out and get the harvest. So think about it. You have to go out and get it. It's going to sit there waiting for you to go get it. Where is it? It's out there. You planted it in, and now it's out there. So now you got to go get it. Well, I was telling you that, this whole painting thing, I had my daughter start painting, and now I have this gorgeous layout. My private studio that I do my creative think work, it's got my daughter Leora's paintings all over the place. She just did one with Bitcoin, and I called it Bitcoin Brina because it looks like a younger version of Sabrina, and it's got the gold and the Bitcoin and all this and that. It's really cool. It's like a animate or whatever you call that type art. And I put that right up in the studio as well. But I've got probably, 5 or 6 of those paintings in my studio now. And it really does, it brings me a lot of inspiration. If you want to see her latest, you can go to artbyleora.com. She might not have any, they're sold out. So I don't know, she paints them all the time, but it does inspire me. I love art and music, obviously. Music and art. The arts are really what gets you going, but what I'm saying is the harvest comes out there. And one of the paintings she did, it was about 10 days ago maybe. I don't even know what the date was, but it was long before this happened. She painted the Sam Easy one, Sam Easy Money. And that was the video I made a while ago about how if you keep saying things, they start to show up. And I'd be like, Sam Easy Money, every time I looked at my dog. And you know what? I started living in a reality where it was easy money. Well, look at what I was saying. I was saying, Sam, say I am easy money. See? Say I am easy money. I am easy money. Am easy money. Am easy money. That's what I called her. And I started living in a reality where it was easy money all the time. So she painted me the Sam Easy Money, and it looked like this. It looked like Dogecoin. So I said, hey, I said, write Dogecoin on there. So she did. And I was like, it's the Dogecoin painting. Well, what happens a week later? The kids on Twitter, these young Generation Z or whatever they call them, they're pumping Dogecoin, taking that thing through the roof. It's going to the moon.
Hello, I'm Shen with Allow Ministries. If you are new or just getting warmed up to this material, here's a great place to begin. Use the groundbreaking tools ABC Break Process, Safe Touch, and Self-Entrainment Technique. These are the original Spiritual Millionaire workshop trainings. Matthew David discovered these techniques being bedridden and bankrupt. To develop a 7-figure business and today train like a pro athlete. Within a few minutes, you'll receive the first technique, ABC Break Free, followed by the next one, Safe Touch, 5 days later. Lastly, you'll be invited to learn Matthew's most powerful skill set to shift the vibration. What he believes to be true is you can occupy parallel universes now. This technique is called self-entrainment. You'll be invited to be personally mentored by Matthew David to master this once-in-a-lifetime skill set. Look for that text to arrive in 10 days. Matthew David has streamlined the learning curve to offer you his best material for rapid life transformation at the pace that works. It's a 30-day investment in yourself to achieve the inner game of permanent abundance and vitality structured as daily techniques to build your life strategically on a solid foundation that prospers you for all your days. It's a legacy to learn, profit from, and even teach to your loved ones. To navigate an ever-changing world with timeless and changeless wisdom. Now, it's your turn to rise above your circumstances and prove that all power is within you. Now to the number below and begin your fast track journey to your best life ever. No matter what the outer circumstances seem to be, you can master your world. Starting now.
You see, this stuff starts to happen. It starts to happen. I'll give you an example of what this looks like. And you don't want to miss this because I've missed it so many times in my life. You don't want to be this person because I'm telling you now so you don't have to do it like that. 2013, okay, I'm sitting in my 8,500 square foot mansion. You know, our company's doing millions of dollars and I think that I'm living the cat's meow. Like, how could it possibly get any better than this? So I decided to do a teaching. It's my first time I decided to step into the role of teaching what I've learned, and I just made this 5-part prosperity series and I put it out there. Fast forward several years later, it was like a year ago or 2 years ago when I stumbled upon those old teachings and I listened to them and I was sitting there talking about Bitcoin. I was talking about it in 2013. I did not invest in it. You see, I missed it, but it was there. I was programming myself. My mind was ripe for it. I had planted the seeds in the garden of the treasury of my storehouse, my unconscious mind. And I will tell you, I was sowing my seeds. I was planting tithes and faith seeds, doing all that, following the 3-2-1. I was doing all that way back then, living in the harvest of it. But there was another harvest, and it was freaking huge. You realize how much I would have had if I would have just stuck a meager little 10 grand in that back then. Back then, that would have been a drop in the bucket for my business. And I was talking about it, which means it was coming to me and I already knew about it. So what I'm telling you is that the formula is so simple. So you begin to plant the seeds in the unconscious. You begin to put those thought suggestions into your mind on a repetitive basis. So what I'm saying is you listen to the audio at night. You begin to let that absorb, okay? That's changing the matrices of your brain, how your brain is wired to perceive. And these things are going to start to pop up in your hologram. You're going to put them there. It's you and you. This is all you and you. So you're going to start putting them there. And you can be so blind. See, you step into your mind and you overlook the new. You overlook the anomaly. You do not want to overlook the anomaly. See, that to me in a prosperity audio was an anomaly because I had not done anything with that. So it was this new occurrence. It was an anomaly showing up
in a repetitive pattern. So that's where your harvest is. Look for that structure, okay? Look for the structure, because that's how it's going to show up. Now, I've never released a teaching like this before. This teaching is so advanced right here that you prime the garden. See? You prime the garden, you plant the seeds, and then after a period of a couple weeks, a few weeks, that stuff's going to start showing up in your world. And here's how you're going to know. And I'm telling you this with hindsight because I've missed it. So I know. I'm very good at tracing things back, and I'm a very structured mechanical thinker. So I have discovered, and I want to submit to you this. Your life is worth recording if it is worth living, and you should be looking at your external hologram, and you should be looking at the anomaly that is occurring, the random thing that shows up that seems to not fit your current reality. Because the reason why it doesn't fit your current reality is because it's based on a bigger reality. It is the harvest that you don't see because you're walking from the perspective of what was, not what is to come. And that is so profound. This wisdom I'm giving you right here is so profound. So text welcome to 608-530-6658, please. Do my 30-day prosperity mind teaching, because I created a new one and it's much better. It's, oh my God, the level is way beyond what it used to be. And this is all free teaching for you, unless you want to take the self-entrainment workshop. But if you don't take that, this is all free teaching for you. What's that? Oh yeah, it's Matthew David Hurtado. It's spiritual. Yeah, did you check it out? Did you guys catch anything? No? Maybe got deeper a little bit, huh? I don't know. So anyway, the idea here is that, speaking of fishing, because see the symbology here? Do you see the random anomaly? Have you ever seen that in a video of mine before? You see how quick I was able to catch this? Get this. You've never seen me talk to anybody like that in a video before, especially when it had to do with just random fishermen. Well, this is because it is the secret of the fisherman story in the Bible. It's the casting a hook and bringing up the first fish that comes up and opening up the mouth, okay? This is what I've been talking about for 3 weeks now, or 3 sessions. I released the videos quicker than usual, so it's been about 2 weeks I've been talking about this. So, what do? You unpack this thing. What happened? What's new? These guys, fishermen, right? It's the fisherman miracle. Never happened in a video of mine before. What does it mean? It means that this is the secret of fishing for your harvest. Now, you're going to have to unpack your reality and find it. But I tell you what, you're already putting it there. If you've been planting these seeds in your mind, it's there. You should be on the hunt for it. Now, how are you going to discover it? 2 steps. First step is you're going to have to look for the anomaly. That's step number 1. And step number 2 is you're going to have to follow the fastest path to your joy in every moment. So my video, the last video I made, that's what I was talking about. Now, by the way, when I get into these videos, I don't even check to see if it's there, but I hope I'm not having that goober on my lip. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? If I'm dehydrated, then whatever, but I drank a lot of water today, and so who cares? If you don't like the way it looks, just listen to the audio, because I promise it'll bless you. It's not about me, and unfortunately, I don't always take the time to make it that way. Like I don't always look. I don't look at what I'm really presenting like. I just kind of get it out there because the wisdom, it's so important to get it out now. Because right now you have the opportunity of a lifetime. I had an idea that came to me. I shared it with a couple of my business partners, and I really believe it's the biggest harvest and the biggest field that we've ever seen in our lives. Okay? This is a God thing. This is a God thing. How did I discover it? I looked for the anomaly. And then I followed the fastest path to my joy. And then in that immediate convergence, it was sitting right there in the middle, right in the sweet spot of those 2 places when they converge together. So it goes into the anomaly, and the fastest path to your joy, and bam, it is right there in the sweet spot. If you find it, then you'll understand that miracle. That's Matthew 17. I think it's 24 through 27, verse 24 through 27. You can look at that miracle all you want, and you can literally go out on a boat, cast a hook, and cast for a fish and try to catch your miracle coin out of the fish's mouth. If you really have faith for that, you'll probably get it there. But if you're a somewhat reasonable person that's not too far to the left and not too far to the right, means you're not so literal in the Bible that you're missing the middle place, and you're not so abstract into the symbology that you're missing the literal place. See, you want to be right in the middle. And in the middle is, we know that it's not 100%, okay, literal. But we also know it's not 100% symbolic. As in, wow, look at all this code and cipher and numerology and all this crap. I can read all that stuff too. I've studied all that stuff. I can look at all that. Hey, how are you? What a cute little girl. So, anyway, you can go in the middle place and you can see it for what it is by demonstrating it. And that's how I've discovered all of my techniques, is that I have so much time that I carve out. Thank you to Sabrina, by the way, because God gave me her. It's the first thing that happened when I started tithing. I kid you not, okay? So I started honoring God, I started tithing, and God does not just dump $1 million in my lap or 10 million or whatever, right? God brings me Sabrina. Well, I can tell you about 1,001 other miracles that have happened since then, from tithing and following the 3-2-1 that I teach at MatthewDavidHurtado.com. If you learn that stuff, it'll take your life to the whole next level, because this is what I do, rinse and repeat, all day, every day. So this is the kind of stuff that you can employ. Yeah. You can be in it. You want to be in it? I'm actually a minister, so I teach about spirituality. Yeah, non-denominational. You guys want to add anything to it?
What that mean? Wait, what? Huh? I don't even know what to say.
Oh, anything you want.
I don't know. So what kind of spiritual is you?
I just believe that, God is all, and that good is here if you want it. But you got to ask for it. Yeah. There you go. See, I can't do that. Yeah. All right, well, you guys have a good night, okay? All right. It's online, actually, at allowministries.com. Yeah, check it out. You'll be on YouTube. All right. All right, so there's another anomaly. That's never happened before. I've never dropped in on a picnic, or I don't know if that was a picnic, but I never dropped in on a gathering and introduced myself, but I got to today, so that was cool. And yeah, kind of share what I do. Hopefully they'll see this on YouTube, hopefully. Anyway, that's my greatest passion in the whole world, though. Seriously, my greatest passion in the whole world is to see people capture wisdom and get their life in a place where they feel so empowered. And the reason why is because with all the forces set against us, every single force under the sun that's set against us amounts to nothing when we discover how powerful we are inside. When we discover that, we tap into our best life ever. Really, and it doesn't have to do with any religion, any denomination. We are all equipped for this. Just need wisdom, that's it. So anyway, a couple anomalies have showed up. So, wow. I just unpacked that one. I'm not going to tell you what that one was, but I just unpacked it. Ooh, it is so big. It is so, whew. I can't believe how big that one was. I cannot believe how big that one was. That one was massive. Absolutely massive. Wow. You see, I give this information, right? I come out here and I give these, and God just shows me what to do with it when it comes. And God is telling me what to do with this message, what to do with this idea that I was given. And so I go out to the field and I'm going to harvest this idea. And the reason why is it's not just for monetary gain, right? I mean, let's face it, business is about making a profit or making a change in the world, but usually both. Okay? Now, ministry, we have a nonprofit ministry, but that doesn't mean we're in the business of begging you for money. I don't need your money. If I need you for money, then I guess God's not in the picture anymore. Thank God I don't need you for money. Thank God I don't have to beg you for money. See, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. Now, I know I'm onto something really good because that's never happened either before. I am telling you that this idea is so hot, so smoking, so sizzling. I really feel it's going to change the world. This is a world-changing idea, and I can't tell you what it is. I have to let you figure it out when you see it. When you see it, you'll know. Oh man, it's going to be so big. It's going to be so cool. And it's not about us making a lot of profit, but what I've discovered is I've discovered how to show a lot of other people how to make a lot of profit. A lot of profit. Okay? Now, since I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not going to go into that realm right now, we can just leave that right there at that point, full stop, period, done. Now, let's go further because I believe I'm giving you such good stuff right now if you know what to do with it. So let's talk about what to do with it. So what to do with it if you want to be what I would call a spiritual special forces operator. We just conducted our spiritual special forces workshop in February of this year. Amazing, amazing workshop. And I will say that my mind was blown with some of the new material that I was picking up and the stuff that came to me from other people. And hey there, we're going to bring this into full spectrum reality. So if you want to be a spiritual special forces operator, now what I mean by that is that you know that the consciousness scale from 0 to 1,000, if your consciousness is high enough, you know, if you have enough light in you, then you can raise the entire population around you. You can raise the whole city by yourself. You can raise 1 million or more people just by you having enough consciousness, enough awareness of who you are and where you are in relationship to the Creator. Now, this is some pretty cool stuff. So what I recommend is this. Again, you text WELCOME to 608-530-6658. Follow the directions of the texts that you'll get. Learn the ABC break process. Learn the safe touch. Optional. Learn self-entrainment technique. If you can't afford it, don't do it. But use what you get, in other words. Now, the other thing is the 3-2-1 prosperity formula. My website, MatthewDavidHurtado.com. Learn that, and then you can probably afford self-entrainment pretty soon, because when you start to honor God, your finances will change.
Hello, I'm Julie with Allow Ministries on behalf of Matthew David Hurtado. Are you ready to end self-sabotage, procrastination, and distraction? Clarity, certainty, and a proven plan of action is what it takes to get anything you want in life. Training is the answer. Matthew David Hurtado's Spiritual Millionaire Workshop is the one-step solution that finally puts you in control of your destiny. What Matthew discovered about building a 7-figure business and perfect well-being when he was bedridden and bankrupt with Lyme disease is that mentorship is success without the wait. It works. At allowuniversity.com, you'll discover how to walk in victory. Learn how to prosper in every area with unstoppable daily habits and a step-by-step training to build your dream business immediately following the event, a success training for a lifetime of achievement. Walk in financial increase, living a life you love. Go to allowuniversity.com and say yes to your destiny.
It's only fear that holds you back. And fear is the issue. Fear is the lesson. So drop that and everything else will come into the picture. So what I recommend is doing that and the nighttime audio. It's on my YouTube channel. I am a billionaire spiritual master. Listen to that nighttime audio every night for 30 days, right as you're going to sleep. Like, what I do is I turn it on right as I'm at that point where I'm just gonna fall asleep. I start to play it, and it starts to just sink in and sink in and sink in. What do you think is going to happen to you if you start doing these things? Well, you're going to come in contact with the Christ in you. Now, the Christ in you has already overcome the world, and that's a fact. If there's one thing I can tell you for certain, is that you are engineered for that path anyway. There are two things that I can say in all of my studies and all of my pursuing that I can tell you I'd bet my life on. Number one is that the Creator, God, wants you to know Him and love Him. Okay? Know Him and love Him. And I use Him as a term because it's a masculine force of divine love, but it's pretty much Him. And then Mother Earth, the Mother Earth that God has created for you. This is weird because this is very different. It's not the physical material earth that your five senses perceive, but wholly and entirely separate from the dream of material living is the life divine. So God's earth is not physical, and you're not physical either. Those are counterfeits. Those are inverted reality scenarios. So when I say Him, I want you to know I mean divine love. So divine love wants you to know divine love and to love divine love. It is the I am presence within you. I am presence within you. That's God. I am. And when Jesus said, I am with you always, that's what He meant. God is I am, the presence within always, and you are one with the Christ. When you understand that revelation, you are one with Christ, atoned at one with the Father. And that is the only way back to the Father. It's not out there, it's within. So everything that seeks out there and tells you God up here and this all that, that's trickery, that's deceitfulness, that's deception, and that's man clothing deity in the image of man. That's sin. Because it takes a graven image, which is a mortal, a flesh-bound material meat sack mortal, and it puts it in front of the living imagination, which is the Christ. And when you do that, that's blasphemy, and that's the only thing that you're not forgiven for, and you must live out the consequence of that action. So repentance is turning back to the Father by means of wisdom, because God sent wisdom, which is the tongue of the Holy Spirit. He sent it into the world to capture those who were beguiled and stuck in the middle place, and that's your mind. Your three kingdoms, your inner kingdom, middle kingdom, and outer kingdom. So your middle kingdom is the who, what, when, where, why, and how reasoning faculties of your material-based mortal mind. And what I seek to do is to trump all of that, no pun intended, but to get you to understand that you are not even remotely having to carry that burden. My yoke is easy, my burden is light. Famous words. So, what I'd like for you to do is to contemplate these ideas and to put them to the test for you, for your sake, for your family. Not to prove that I'm right or anybody else is right or wrong, but I want you to be able to demonstrate miracle after miracle after miracle. I have had countless miracles. It's almost like one after the other since I've been using this every single day and holding steadfast to wisdom and not the world out there. I don't let the world out there tell me what's happening because it's trying to trick me into fear. And if I fall into fear, then I'm confused and I'm stuck in the middle place, and then I'm beguiled and I am bound by Satan. That's why I don't fall in these traps. I walk through every scenario as if it is all in all God and there is no other. And therefore, I am greeted as such. So what I'd like for you to know is that whatever you're seeking, you don't have to try so hard. If you're seeking money, it's easy. follow my 3-2-1 prosperity formula, listen to the audio every single night as you go to sleep, and look for the anomaly and look for the fastest path to your joy to converge. Take that idea that's opening the fish's mouth and go after it. Go after it. That's where they'll converge, right in that middle, right in that place. If you're looking for health, I have a whole series on my website. You know, that's one of my most important topics that I've taught on, because I was bedridden with Lyme disease at one point, and it took me 6 years to recover fully, but I understand the undoing of all material conditions by means of trust, faith, and walking in spirit, not material consciousness. And the best works I've ever discovered on that are the works of Mary Baker Eddy with Christian Science. Okay, Phineas Parkhurst Quimby was one of her first mentors, and I found him back in the early days when I had Lyme, and I was so intrigued that I spent about 2 years studying his work and his manuscripts, and I never really could understand how to get that consciousness, because you don't know it until you get there. But then I discovered, by looking into Christian Science, his protege, I guess you could say, but she took it to the next level. She was better at explaining it. Mary Baker Eddy discovered the real mechanics of how to walk in freedom in the realm of the, you know, the healing of your body and your mind. So that's what I would like to tell you about that, is that you can walk in that freedom in your body and your mind. You don't have to fall into the fear and into the pit, because that's not for you. So with that said, what I would recommend is to look at anything that intrigues you, explore it, unpack it, and if relationships are the issue, well, that's really simple as well. One of the best things I learned about relationships is something that I taught called the SALUTE method, S-A-L-U-T-E. It's an acronym. You can download my #1 international best-selling book, Ask Until It's Given. And in that book, you can learn the SALUTE method, and that method will teach you a way to act in the world that brings favor and honor to you. And it'll change your life. It'll help you. You can just text ASK to the number 608-530-6658, or go to askuntilisgiven.com and get that copy of that book free and read it. It has a really good chapter on cryptocurrency in there as well, about ideas that I picked up during the first bull cycle I experienced in 2017. And a lot of that wisdom we've learned to go into in 2021 with Allow Ministries. Allow Ministries has some holdings, and the purpose of that is to grow the ministry, grow the funds in the ministry so that our ministry can grow. Now, I think I'm going to wrap it up with that and leave you guys, keep it to half an hour. I just wanted to give you all that good, exciting momentum that was coming out of me. I'm breaking a sweat now, so getting a little uncomfortable. I'm just going to finish this walk, get back, and see you on the next round. And I started to look back and figure out how these things came to me. And some of it's so simple, it's mind-blowing. Like, if you could stop fearing and worrying so much, you'd allow the space for the solution to show up. Right? Do you know that most of your thinking is worrying? Most of it's fear in disguise? You know, who here fears about their finances tomorrow or the next month or the next year or your life the next year? Well, are you ever alive tomorrow or the next year? Are you ever alive in that moment? You don't have a tomorrow or next year. You can logically plan for these things, but you're always alive right here, right now. And the seed is what you plant right now. You take an action in this moment, and it creates, karma is action, cellular memory, reaction. So when I act in this moment, I plant a seed. And that seed produces a harvest every time.